Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Hope everybody's having an amazing day. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Childcare Genius podcast. Got an exciting episode planned for you today. Just want to remind you, if you have not signed up for our wait list yet, for our Childcare Genius Live Conference in Las Vegas, April 14th, 15th, and 16th of next year, our wait list is growing. And from that wait list, you're going to be able to buy tickets at $200 off a ticket. So you're going to want to get on the wait list to save money on your tickets when those ticket sales become available. We're selling to our wait list first, $200 off a full price ticket. So childcaregenius.com and go to the conference tab under Childcare Genius Live, CCG Live. Select I'd like to join the wait list and no obligation to do so. And today's guest on the line is April Bender. April owns a school in Fremont, Nebraska. I've been coaching April for many years, and she is an amazing owner, has done very well. And she recently joined the Childcare Genius University coaching staff. So now she's one of our professors, helping other people grow their business. And we do an amazing episode talking a little bit about the university, talking about a little bit about her school, and a little bit about some upcoming conferences we got attended. So I think you're really going to enjoy this episode.
Let's get April on the line. Hi, April. Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hi, April. Good to see you again.
Thank you. You as well.
How are things in Fremont, Nebraska?
Going well, very busy. It was rainy and stormy this morning, but the sun is peeking out now, so we're off to a good start.
Any day that it's not snowing out there is a good thing, right?
No tornadoes and no snow.
No tornadoes and no snow and sun. That's a win, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have the kind of wind that I don't like, the kind that goes sideways. No, thank you.
Yep. We spin in circles. We go sideways.
Yeah.
90 miles an hour.
I'll take a snowstorm over a tornado any day.
Yep.
So we wanted to have you on.
So.
Wanted to have you back on the podcast. We had you on about a year ago, and I wanted to have you back. So some things have changed since we last spoke. So I figured we'd do an updated podcast. So thanks for taking the time. So I want to go back, and for those of our listeners who haven't heard you before or maybe seen you speak, can you tell us more about your background and what your life was like before you got into the wonderful childcare business?
Absolutely. Well, I was very young when I entered the field, but I had already become a parent. So I worked for Child Protective Services. I had gone to school for human services counseling. So I worked in the social work field for about 7 years. And then I had children of my own and couldn't find the right place that I felt comfortable with them going. And so that's what led me to open my own school. So I feel a lot of my history in my past career helps me today, right? In counseling, talking to staff, talking to families. It really helped me a lot in my job now, but it was in counseling and basically social work.
Oh, that's interesting. We have several clients that were former CPS workers, and that's a tough field.
I definitely enjoy my career now better, and I loved my job back then. In fact, we still do it. We do have a contract at our 5-year anniversary, we had a goal of opening a second location, and I switched it to opening a contract with the state to provide family support work services, drug testing, stuff like that. And so we do that on the side as well, and we have family support workers that offer counseling services and visitation to reunify families. So very passionate about it. It's just different. Overlaps, but different.
It is different. That's the first time
Yeah.
we've heard of that in a center. So that's a
Yeah.
unique, something unique you do. And that sounds like you're a blessing to some families.
It's really nice when there's an overlap that they can attend our school and have visitations, through our school. So that way they have a very safe, comfortable place and the parents feel welcome and they're not having to, get in somebody's car with a stranger and go to a library or a restaurant or something to have a visit with their parents. So it is very good. Thank you.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
What would you say has been your most challenging thing for you since COVID?
I wish I could say something really unique that nobody's heard of, but I'm going to have to say that I can relate to almost every single owner and director in the industry, which was staffing, right? Just the staffing struggles of, maybe not finding workers, that there went through a lot of worry. A lot of people were worried about getting COVID or what the changes were going to be for their health, stuff like that, and the fear of working and being in relation to other people. And then it shifted to people just staying home, right? The new norm that they weren't going to be working. And then now I would say that it's really turned around, right? Our staffing here in Nebraska, at least at our school, has completely changed. We have had amazing people come to work for us since COVID, just so passionate about the field. And I think one of the changes were internally. We started changing how we were hiring, who we were hiring, and looking for people that our values align and our core values were, could mesh together instead of just hiring out of desperation. So I would say 100% without a doubt, the staffing was the hardest challenge. But it just, then having to adapt, it has changed, it has shifted how we hire, who we hire, what people are looking for. They're looking for something that they can be passionate about, that they can grow in instead of just a regular clock in, clock out type of job. And I think that has kind of been one of the blessings since COVID, is people really were able to take a look and ask themselves, what am I passionate about and what's important to me? And then in turn, right, that's benefited our school and our children and our students and our families so much, because now we have teachers that are absolutely passionate and want to be there. That's what their calling is. And so it's been a blessing. COVID being absolutely terrible, positive things came from it. So I'm very happy to report that as of today, right, we've recovered from that challenge and come out better on the other side.
And you come out probably a lot stronger now than you were even before COVID. So it's funny, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Absolutely. That's true.
Sure. Yeah, and we're seeing that, countrywide. A lot of the clients we're working with that were struggling staffing are now getting close to fully staffed and starting to weed out some of the driftwood or deadwood or whatever you want to call it. The people that were just the people that passed the mirror test during COVID. Stick a mirror under the nose, it fogs up, you hired them. Everybody remembers those days, but yeah, hopefully those are long behind us and never coming back.
Right. And even the ones that maybe they thought that this was their only job that they could do, that they'd been in it for so long that they had to stay, right? I think it gave them an opportunity to either be home for a little while and then have to go back and find something different. And that opportunity for them too, like maybe this isn't the best fit for me anymore. Maybe the first 5 or 10 years I was in the field, but now I need to do something different. And so getting them to, release them to the world, right, to the universe, to do something different, to bring joy to them in a different way is really honestly like refreshing to me as well, that you could see these people maybe weren't happy in the field anymore, and now they can go do something else, and following up with them, right, and seeing on Facebook and different things that they are happy, and that I think that's positive too.
Sure. And no, one good thing about having a robust job market, meaning that there's other jobs out there that people can do, sometimes even for more money, is that people you have with you want to be there and knowing they could be somewhere else probably making more money. So that helps us to get a really good team of people that
Yeah.
really want. We're hoping that the people that could have made more will move on, that the money's important to them. We want people that like the outcome of childcare more than they like the income of
Right.
childcare. And I think that has
Absolutely.
been the transition with the, when they can make $20 an hour at Starbucks and you're only paying like 18, say, that they'll stick with you because the outcome is so much more beneficial to them than the income.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
100
Our
years
team
from
right now.
we make
Yes.
a difference in 100 years from now, our impact will be still felt. But, making a little bit of money, just chasing dollars, there's no impact in that. And we have an impactful field for sure. So you've been personally coached inside our Childcare Genius University, and you've been in other coaching programs as I have. Can you tell us why you think so many people are leaving other coaching programs and why we're growing so fast?
I have a couple ideas about this personally. I know that the coaching program I was with before, I learned so much from where I had started, and I have nothing ill to say about the other programs that I've been in. I met fabulous people, like the networking. And now they've joined me, at Childcare Genius, and those relationships and networking with other folks, I hope will last a lifetime because that has made a huge impact. But so I think I felt that I was at a point where I had learned everything that they had to offer, right? I'm sure there was additional things. I don't know everything by any means, but I felt that I had achieved kind of what the checklist was of where I needed to be, and I was ready for something different. I also wanted maybe more personalized. So that was kind of, maybe a general template of what coaching looked like to them. And it helped me. It helped me tremendously. I love checklists, so I got to check things off of my list. But when I was done, I was to a point of, well, now what, right? And so I was in a position with some of my staff that they needed coaching as well, my leadership team. And the Childcare Genius University offered that one-on-one coaching that I could meet with my coach one-on-one and not have to be in a group setting for every meeting, right? We still do the weekly meetings, that's a group, which is very helpful because you can learn so many things from different people. But having that time with my coach to be able to say, this is a struggle, or cry my eyes out if I needed to, right? That I wouldn't maybe had the time or willingness to do in a group setting. So having that one-on-one coaching has really been a game changer for me in my business, because I could ask those, very specific questions that really only apply maybe to my business, and they were able to gather resources or help me or relate to me. But I also like that it's a small knit community, whereas before it was quite large. And now this is more, I do get to ask questions, or I can spend more time on my issues that I need, an answer to on a template or a spreadsheet or a question that I'm having, instead of maybe having, 150 people in the group on a call. So, yeah.
Love that.
Yep. The university is also different in the sense that, and I've said this before, that it's more whole body, right? Whole person, not just my childcare business. It looks at it from other financial goals. You've personally coached me on real estate and diversifying my financials, and my coach was also excellent in that field as well. So being able to talk about other things instead of just the childcare business, and being able to kind of spread my wings and learn more and diversify, that's a game changer, right? That's going to have a lifelong impact, like you were just talking about, that you might not be a teacher in a classroom right now making that impact with the students, but you're making an impact on your students in the university on a different level.
I love that, April. And I coach you now, so I look forward to doing a lot more real estate conversations. And you say, well, why do you do that, Brian? Because a lot of people are not going to be in childcare till they die. They're going to sell at some point. And what does that exit strategy look like? So we actually tackle those conversations. What's the end? Where's the end? You know, we start at the end and we work our way backwards. And then what's past the end? You know, you got to be able to survive and eat. Passive income is the way to do it. So we teach that. And we're probably I think the best group that does that. I don't know if anybody else does that, and that's okay. You know, and again, other coaching groups, you'll never hear me put them down because I wouldn't be where I am today without other coaching groups. We just do things differently. And I appreciate you being part of that. And I do love coaching you because you're one of the best students I've ever had because you listen, you're like a sponge, you soak it up and you just go do it. You don't complain, you're not a whiner, you just do it. And actions always speak louder than words with me. And I don't claim to know everything, but I on my team, you put all our coaches together and you will get the answer to every single issue out there as a collective. And coaching is not always about knowing the right answers. It's about helping bring the right answer out of the client and help them find their best way forward. And sometimes it's just listening is the best thing you could do for somebody who's struggling. Is just be that ear and let them work through their own problem. You can't always solve it, but listening is so key.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a coach early on, and I think I suffered early on and probably lost a lot of money by doing so. And you probably wish you would have one sooner too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the other thing is each coach is, they kind of have their little specialty that they're kind of experts in that you can go, have your coach and you can meet with them or you can meet with another coach if you'd like, for a couple, sessions to get your questions answered about a different topic. And I think that's been really helpful too, that maybe it was, Kim has helped me with some spreadsheets lately and spreadsheets are not my thing. And now it's almost challenged me to start learning because I see how quick she is at it. Or, Alyssa, she has all of these, specialty programs at her school. And I learned a lot from her to be able to gather that insight. And so to be able to jump around and get information from each coach that kind of specializes in things is nice too. It's diverse.
And you recently joined the coaching faculty at Child Care Genius University.
I did.
What are you most excited about with this new role?
Well, the list is actually quite long of what I'm excited about, but I'm going to summarize. Just what you just said is that I didn't have a coach early on. And I went through all these struggles that I could have probably saved myself from, which I did learn from, and it made me who I am today. But I want to be able to pass that on to others and to be able to help them to not feel lonely. Because as you guys both know, and Carol, you probably especially, like it can be so lonely being in that office and in that building. And if you're multi-site owner jumping, you feel like you're spending half your time running from location to location and putting out fires. And it just can feel so lonely. So to feel like you have somebody on your side that has your back, no matter what, and they're, unbiased about what's going on, they can give you an outside perspective. When you're stuck in the middle, it's hard to see. The easy answer maybe that's right there, but they can kind of be on your side to coach you through that. And I'm really looking forward to helping others do that as well and save them some loneliness and some frustration and to be able to help them in their business, because the people that are in this business, as you guys know, they are just amazing. They love children and teachers and families. And if you didn't, you wouldn't be in this field, because that's, the consumption of your day is with, those people. And so they have the heart for it, but maybe not always the skills or the resources to get the job done quickly. So to be able to save them several hours behind maybe a spreadsheet or something to say, let me share that with you. I have this, somebody shared it with me. My coach helped me with that. Is like a huge relief off of their shoulders. And so to be able to share that with them. The other thing is, and Brian, you probably maybe could guess this one, but I like a really good challenge. And so I feel that being in this role has challenged me to up my game even more, right? So maybe where I'm not a specialist, I want to learn more. I want to improve and grow myself. And so in order to help others, I need to be able to grow and help myself and to learn more. And so it's really kind of been a challenge, and I'm taking it on full steam ahead with learning new things and maybe tweaking my own processes and systems. So that way, when I go to share that with others, that I have a tried and true system that is in place and is solid.
I love that, April, and thank you for those kind words. Like, well, wow, how do you pick coaches? They have to be coached by me. I handpick everybody, and everybody on my team, I personally coach them for many months and sometimes many years. And you've got to be a great public speaker, and you check all the right boxes. You're an amazing speaker in front of people. We've tested you out on a few conferences, and we tested out on a few calls, and had my eye on you for a few months. And then when a position came available, I'm like, you know what, April, how would you like to make a difference in the world and be a blessing to others? And I think that's probably how I approached you. Like, how can we make a difference in other people's lives together? And that I think we have this same vision of the blessings we want to bestow upon other people's lives, and that's why we do what we do. And I think we have a shared vision and mission for that. So I'm glad we aligned, and I'm glad you're on the Child Care Genius University team. We're going to do amazing things together, so we're looking forward to it. And with that being said, you are a featured speaker at the Leverage Conference Jamaica this year, and also next year at Child Care Genius Live Conference in Vegas. You're going to be one of our main stage speakers, as all of our coaches are. I know you've been to a lot of conferences. What makes a Child Care Genius conference so different?
Well, you guys both know this answer probably already. I cannot say enough good things about the Jamaica conference because I have ADHD. I can't sit still very long at all. And if I don't apply stuff right away, then it's out of my brain, you know. And I want to apply everything that I've learned. So the fact that it's a small group and we get done early and we get to go to the pool and then network and talk about everything that we just learned and ask each other questions and talk to the coaches. I don't know of any other conferences like that. There are some in amazing locations with amazing speakers. But to end early and then get to go and deep dive into what we learned and talk about it and network with other owners nationwide. I mean, what better thought, what better plan could you have than that in a beautiful location, relaxing and being able to remove all of the distractions from your mind. You don't have a computer there, right? You really have to focus on what you're learning and then to be able to talk about it and share it. So, and I met very high level owners there, and I really appreciated that too, that we could communicate about other things that weren't just talked about in the conference, but we could talk about other things as well. And I learned from them. So to have that, specialty group of owners there that are passionate about their business, and they've gone to other conferences too, and we can network and talk about different things. And then the speakers that presented the content at the Jamaica conference was topics that I had not ever heard at any other conference before. And it's hard when you go to so many conferences and, they're all over the United States usually that I've been to, it's hard to come up with new content or to not hear something over and over. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes it wasn't the right time that we did need to hear it again. But it's also fun, and, it keeps my mind stimulated when we hear a new topic. And that's hard to do. It's hard to come up with new topics. And so that was mind blowing. And I think it was new topics to every single person in the room, with seeing the hands raised and the conversations in the pool afterwards and flocking to the coaches that had presented these new, interesting topics. It was really powerful in my business later on when we got to go home and apply it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Being an ADHD fellow alumni myself, when we designed this conference, I designed it that way for my benefit. Like, if I had to go to a conference, this is what I would like, being the short attention span that I have, quicker sessions, shorter. Sometimes we have 30-minute sessions, sometimes 45. We keep them short. We make them interactive. We engage with the audience, and we're done it every day by 1 o'clock. We're in the pool, by 2. And then the coaches are there to speak with the people in the pool. We have poolside coaching, which is with the number one rated thing at our conference, that personal time. Carol and I are in the pool with everybody else. And we find that, that having accessible hosts is another thing. I wanted to make sure that we were available for anybody that wanted to hang out. We tried to have a meal with everybody we didn't know, either breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So we had a personal connection, and something unique about our Jamaica conference this year. And next year we'll be going to Cancun. So, with a bigger venue, even more next year. So we have 170, I think, coming this year. We'll probably be 250 next year. It'll still be small. We'll still keep it small, but it'll be impactful. And we'll never get rid of poolside coaching at our fall event because it's too special.
Yes, thank you for that. I would have a hard time getting myself there if we had to be in a classroom all day. And it is easier to go and apply those things when it's on a shorter but deeper level. The other thing, I do have one more positive thing that really stands out to me about the conference, and I feel it separates the university from other coaching programs as well. And that is that you guys really offer, if you are interested in it or it applies to you, to work with your spouse or coaching for couples. Because my husband doesn't work in my business. He has his own business. And to be able to learn some tips about working with your spouse, even on the small level that we intertwine in our businesses, was very helpful. And it goes back to the whole person, that you guys coach for the whole person. My husband is a big part of my life, right? Probably one of the biggest parts of my life with my children. And so being able to talk about that at conferences and with your coach, and even being taught tips and tricks on how to work together better, that made a big difference in our personal life, not just our business. So I really, and that doesn't apply to every single person, but the things you learn could also be applied to a partnership or something that you're working with. But there were a lot of couples there. And I think that was probably one of their biggest takeaways is, those sessions of being able to talk about working with your spouse and communication and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed that as well.
And thank you for bringing that up. Carol and I, we had a marriage ministry in our church for many years. So we've counseled, hundreds of couples. We've done classes. So we know the struggles personally. We've had a lot of issues and struggles ourselves working together as couples. So we figure if we had them, other people have them. And so we figure if we could help give tools to people that are struggling or might potentially struggle in the future. And a lot of times that the husband or the wife doesn't have this involvement, but wants to. And when they come in after the thing is established, boy, it really can upset that apple cart. And we have to sometimes put the apples back in and teach those.
And it doesn't always have to be that you work together. It can just be that, maybe you get home from work and you dump on your spouse everything that happened that day, and you need to learn communication skills. So stuff like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, we teach some really cool things that's not taught anywhere else. That's why our leverage conference is attended by 40% men. You don't get that at any other childcare conference in the world because it's a lot of couples. And Carol and I work this together. The podcast brings a lot of couples in. And so if you're out there and you want to attend a really cool conference with your spouse, the fall conference this year, Jamaica, next year, Cancun, that is a conference to go to. You'll come out with a better marriage, a better partnership, a whole lot of fun. And one thing to go back to the shorter days, we can't go to a place with a beach like that with palm trees around and sit in a classroom all day. No way.
Yeah.
That would be cruel and unusual punishment. So that's another reason we have shorter days, 8 to 12, 8 to 12:30, and then we are done.
No.
Anyway, anything else more to add, April, that you want to share with anybody?
No, I don't think so. My biggest thing is, I was always afraid to maybe be vulnerable or to spend the money for coaching. And it has been the best money that I've ever spent. Like the relationships I met two ladies that we now network together. We meet weekly and we share resources and ideas or struggles. When one of us is down, the other ones, pick us up. And I really think that if I had those resources and those connections early on, I could have saved myself a lot of stress. And then knowing that I have my coach there, that if there is something big or small that's going on in my business, that I can reach out and just have this resource right at my fingertips, that I can send a text or an email quickly and have a response or have some kind of support in just a short period of time. That would have saved me, a lot of wrinkles, a lot of stress, a lot of lost sleep, if I would have just been willing to do that. And I don't even know if it was around back then, but the fact that it is now is a luxury to owners. They got to take advantage of, because you could save yourself a lot of stress if you just reached out to somebody or had that network there. And the other, the other people the other owners in the group are amazing. They will share. They are not stingy about sharing their resources and communicating and giving support. And that's really priceless to have those resources. It's just, huge stress relief. It's amazing. And time saver.
Sure.
That's all I got.
And I know accountability buddy, I had one early on, not early on, but once I started coaching, I had an accountability buddy named Jenny, and we would talk every week, and boy, that really upped my game and held me accountable. So I know exactly what you're talking about now. We encourage that with everybody. So I'm glad you brought up. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to conclude this episode, and thank you for all the pearls of wisdom you dropped. Thanks for joining the Child Care Genius University team. If you would like more information about Child Care Genius University, go to childcaregenius.com, under the university tab, and you can read a little bit about what we do. And if you want to find a little more about April, go to the Our Team section. You could learn a little bit about April and her background, and even grab her email and send her a nice message and tell them how amazing she did and how much you were inspired by her on the podcast today. I know she'd love that. April at childcaregenius.com. So April, thank you so much. We will see you in 90 days. We'll be heading to Jamaica, so we'll be seeing you then. And I look forward to hearing you speak. I know you got a great session. We're going to keep it under wraps what your topic is right now. So you got to be there to know what we're teaching.
Right. See you there.
Good rest of the day. Bye, April.
Bye.
I love it when she speaks because she's so knowledgeable.
Yes.
Great owner, great person, great heart, and it really has a mission for helping people. So she fits right in line with our core values. I'm so enjoying having her on the team, and she's already making a difference in the lives of other people. So thank you, April, for a great episode and for joining our team. And want to let you know, if we can help you in your business, and you'd like a free call with me, if you're a center owner and you've not done a call with me before, I'd like to hop on a free coaching call and let me help you out. Go to childcaregenius.com, and under the coaching tab, select that, like a free coaching call. And I'll give you a no obligation 30 to 40-minute call, and let us teach you a couple things that might be struggling with, maybe give some tips and tools to help you grow your business. So this concludes this episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. Thank you again for so much for tuning in and for listening and for giving us an opportunity to bless you and teach you a few things.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.